When you hear the word dragon, what comes to mind? A huge scaly beast that breathes fire and has an insatiable appetite for human flesh. Or perhaps a magnificent winged creature soaring through the skies, its scales shimmering in the sunlight. Dragons have captured the human imagination for centuries. They are often depicted as powerful, majestic creatures that can bring both good and evil. But where did dragons come from, and why do they continue to fascinate us even today? The origin of dragons is shrouded in mystery and speculation. One popular theory suggests that they are the descendants of dinosaurs, which were huge reptiles that lived on Earth millions of years ago. According to this theory, some dinosaurs survived the mass extinction event that wiped out their kind and evolved into dragons. However, there is no scientific evidence to support this claim. Another theory suggests that dragons were created by ancient humans through genetic engineering. This theory is based on the fact that many cultures around the world have myths and legends about dragons, and it's possible that these stories are based on real events. Ancient humans may have experimented with creating dragons as a way to control the weather or protect themselves from other animals. However, this theory is also highly speculative, and there is no concrete evidence to prove it. Some believe that dragons are extra-dimensional beings that have the ability to travel between worlds. This theory is based on the fact that dragons are often depicted as having supernatural powers, such as the ability to breathe fire or control the minds of their victims. If dragons are indeed extra-dimensional beings, then they could have come from a world where magic and mythical creatures are commonplace. But what if dragons weren't just mythical creatures? What if they really existed somewhere out there in the vastness of space? It sounds like a far-fetched idea, but it's not as crazy as you might think. In fact, there is some evidence to suggest that dragons may exist on other planets or in other dimensions. For example, there are many reports of unidentified flying objects that have been witnessed by credible sources. Some people believe that these UFOs are being piloted by dragons or other intelligent creatures that we have yet to discover. Additionally, there are numerous ancient texts and artifacts that depict dragons and other mythical creatures that seem out of place given the time they were created. For example, the Voynich manuscript, which is a medieval book that was written in an unknown language and contains bizarre illustrations of plants and creatures that do not seem to exist. Some believe that the manuscript depicts dragons and other mythical creatures that are real, but have since become extinct. So the question remains, do dragons exist? Perhaps the answer is yes, but we just haven't found them yet. Maybe they're hiding in plain sight, living among us in secret, or maybe they exist on another planet, waiting to be discovered by those who dare to explore the unknown. In our modern world, it's easy to dismiss dragons as nothing more than fantasy, but the truth is that these magnificent creatures have captured the human imagination for centuries. Whether they exist in reality or only in our dreams, dragons will continue to fascinate us for generations to come. Now let's talk about the power of dragons. If they did exist, what would make them so powerful? Well, for starters, dragons are often depicted as being incredibly strong and resilient. Their scales are said to be impenetrable, making them virtually immune to physical attacks. And their fire-breathing abilities make them even more formidable opponents. Imagine trying to fight off a dragon with a sword or a spear. The intense heat and sheer force of their fiery breath would make it nearly impossible to get close enough to land a fatal blow. Not only are dragons physically powerful, but they're also incredibly intelligent and cunning. Many myths and legends tell of dragons that are able to speak and reason like humans. They are often portrayed as being highly skilled in battle, and are said to be able to defeat entire armies on their own. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of dragons is their ability to breathe fire. This power gives them a tremendous advantage in battle, as it allows them to attack from a distance without putting themselves at risk. The exact mechanism by which dragons breathe fire varies depending on the myth or legend. Some say that they have a special organ in their throats that produces a flammable liquid, while others say that they simply swallow fire like a snake swallowing a mouse. Regardless of how they do it, the end result is always the same: a powerful blast of fire that can incinerate anything in its path. So if you ever find yourself face to face with a dragon, you should probably run away. There's no telling what they're capable of, but one thing is for sure, you don't want to stick around to find out. And now I'm going to tell you about a war that happened 2,000 years ago. A war between two sides, the humans and the dragons. It was a time when the dragons ruled the skies and the humans lived in fear of their mighty claws and poisonous fangs. But as the humans grew in number and strength, they began to fight back. It all started when a young human warrior named Eric killed a dragon that had been terrorizing his village. This act of bravery inspired the other humans to rise up against the dragons and take back control of their world. The war was long and bloody, but in the end, the humans emerged victorious. They used their intelligence and teamwork to defeat the dragons. And they established a new order in the world, one in which humans were the dominant species. But the dragons didn't go down without a fight. Their leader, a great and powerful dragon named Ignis, vowed revenge. He rallied his followers and launched a surprise attack on the humans, but they were too strong and too well organized. The humans defeated the dragons once again and sent them fleeing into the mountains. There, the dragons regrouped and hatched a new plan. They knew they couldn't win in open battle, so they decided to use their knowledge of the mountains to their advantage. They hid in caves and tunnels, ambushing the humans when they least expected it. This tactic worked for a while, but eventually the humans adapted and learned to fight the dragons on their own terms. As the war dragged on, both sides suffered heavy losses. Many brave warriors on both sides lost their lives, and whole villages were wiped out by dragonfire. But the humans were ultimately victorious. They used their superior numbers and their ability to work together to defeat the dragons once and for all. After the war, the dragons became nothing more than a legend, a scary story told to children to keep them in line. And the humans went on to build a great civilization, one that would last for centuries. Or maybe it was all just a dream that I had last night about a war that happened 2,000 years ago. A war between two sides, the humans and the dragons. It was a time when the dragons ruled the skies and the humans lived in fear of their mighty claws and poisonous fangs. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more epic stories.